You didn't land here by accident. This moment was designed just for you. There's a reason your heart is beating a little faster right now. Your spirit recognizes what your mind hasn't caught up to yet. This message is yours. And not just any message. This is a call, a confirmation, a divine signal that you are on the edge of something massive. You felt it, haven't you? That stirring inside. That sense that something bigger is happening behind the scenes. That your life is shifting. But you just can't explain how. Let me tell you something. You are not crazy. And you are definitely not alone. You're chosen, marked, set apart for a purpose that the world can't even fully comprehend yet. This isn't about hype. This is about alignment. About you finally stepping into what was always meant for you. You've carried so much. You've fought silent battles no one saw. And now, heaven is moving. Doors are about to open that no one can shut. But it starts with you showing up. Right now. So lean in. Because by the time you finish reading this, something inside you will wake up. And once it does, there's no turning back. Welcome to your moment. Let's unlock it. Looking for purpose and peace? Hit subscribe and start the journey. A hidden course correction is unfolding beneath the surface of your life. An unseen shift is occurring, halting your steps just as you prepare to move forward. This isn't hesitation born of fear. It's a deliberate act beyond your comprehension, a redirection rooted in higher foresight. The very energy you're trying to summon now may feel like it's slipping through your fingers, but this isn't failure. It's intentional interference from a place of protection. A larger rhythm has intervened to deter you from a path that leads not only to misalignment, but to a quiet unraveling of all you've been building. There's a silence that feels louder than chaos. A fog that thickens just when you seek clarity. That disconnection you feel isn't fatigue, but a barrier placed with precision. What you're being blocked from isn't obvious, but it carries consequences far beyond this moment. In this space of stillness, every impulse to speak, to act, to interfere is gently being restrained. You are being shielded not from hardship, but from a disruption that would fracture your direction. This interruption is not meant to punish, but to anchor you away from unseen turmoil. Intervention does not always come with thunder. It often arrives as a pause, a misfire, a blank page when you expected resolution. The urge to act, to fix, to step in, is being quieted now. This resistance is wisdom in disguise. You were never meant to carry this particular weight. Not every battle belongs to you. Releasing control may feel like surrender, but it's a calculated retreat authored by grace. What seems like delay is a safeguard. The danger ahead isn't loud or visible, but it's designed to distort your clarity and scatter your purpose. You are being lifted away from what looks harmless, but would have slowly dimmed your vision. This is preservation at work, not silence, but protection veiled as stillness. Feel God's love stirring within you? Don't let it stop there. Hit the super thank you button and sow a seed of $20 or more. That simple act can ignite hope, heal hearts, and carry His love further than you imagine. You were made to shine His light. This is your moment. Be the miracle someone's been praying for. Let heaven move through you. A quiet shift has begun behind the curtain of the ordinary. Without realizing it, a web is being spun in familiar places, by familiar faces, masked in warmth and encouragement. The real intention, however, is cloaked in friendliness that hides misdirection. What seems like concern may carry undertones of manipulation, and what appears to be support may actually be veiled opposition. Yet despite all that remains hidden to the natural eye, the unseen realm is already at work dismantling these arrangements. The architecture of this deception is being quietly disassembled, piece by piece, without alarm. Invisible threads are being severed before they tighten. Though there's no visible rupture, connections are shifting, and interactions, once full of ease, now feel like walking through fog. This is not a social disconnect. It's a spiritual recalibration. What feels like emotional distance is actually an extraction from a plan that never had your good in mind. Only when fully removed will the layers of this illusion begin to unravel. Every encounter that now feels off, every conversation that leaves you uncertain, is part of a larger rescue already unfolding beneath the surface. It can be maddening to feel immobilized, to sense your ability to respond has gone dull, as though your thoughts are moving through water. But this numbness is not dysfunction. It is deliberate restraint. A larger hand has taken the reins, steering you clear of decisions born in confusion. There is a higher orchestration in progress, one that interrupts your rhythm, so you do not walk willingly into hidden snares. Make your impact eternal. Join now and be a light in someone's darkness. When clarity feels out of reach and drive feels dimmed, it's not collapse. It's a measured stillness, a pause with purpose. You're not losing ground. You're being held in place until the threat passes. This sense of detachment isn't failure, but insulation. You are being withheld from atmospheres that would twist your discernment and wear down your purpose. Like a system forced into standby to protect itself from overload, your spirit is momentarily suspended, not from life, but from misalignment. This internal silence is a temporary haven. You are not adrift. You are being prepared. The restraint you feel now is the very force that will enable you to stand later, without regret, without loss, and with full clarity of purpose. An unexpected distortion is quietly echoing through familiar connections. One individual, someone interwoven deeply into your personal rhythm, is unknowingly acting as a passageway for unseen interference. Without malice, perhaps even in kindness, they've become a relay for influences that don't belong near your purpose. The full design of this disruption may never become visible to you, but a higher wisdom has already moved to neutralize it. Before the interference takes shape, the path is being silently rerouted, and doors are being bolted shut before you even reach for the handle. What appears to be a subtle shift in closeness, a gentle cooling of trust, is not a loss. It is a safeguard. That intuitive sense that something is misaligned, even if no evidence supports it, is the whisper of unseen strategy shielding you. Connections that once brought ease may now feel off-kilter, but the disruption is strategic, not random. Barriers are rising where access once flowed freely. This is not rejection. It's retraction, a sacred extraction from energies that would quietly distort your path. As timelines bend away from your expectations, you may begin to feel a quiet resistance, as if everything familiar is being paused mid-motion. But this isn't stagnation, it's a protective recalibration. What you assumed would unfold smoothly has been intentionally diverted, and decisions you were ready to make are now slipping beyond your grasp. This is not failure. It is preservation. When options vanish without explanation, it is often because they would have redirected you into a place you were never designed to dwell. Even now, while you wait for movement, the pause is doing its work. Not all progress is forward motion. Sometimes it's stillness that carries you out of harm's reach. What feels like a delay is a detour from deeper disappointment. Later, when hindsight is clear, gratitude will replace confusion, and what once felt like resistance will be understood as rescue. The absence of noise is not emptiness. It is a quiet forge. A sacred process is unfolding where clarity is refined through silence. You may feel as though you've been pulled from the current of your own life, but this isolation is intentional. The usual flow of ideas, emotions, and direction has been deliberately hushed, not to punish you, but to position you. Feel God's love stirring within you? Don't let it stop there. Hit the super thank you button and sow a seed of $20 or more. That simple act can ignite hope, heal hearts, and carry His love further than you imagine. You were made to shine His light. This is your moment. Be the miracle someone's been praying for. Let heaven move through you. There is a gathering of strength happening beneath the hush, a slow-burning preparation for a confrontation you were never meant to enter unready. While everything around you stills, your spirit is being rewired with insight that only silence can bring. This internal rebalancing will not only shield you from what approaches, but also equip you to rise when the moment demands it. What begins in quiet will one day speak with strength. An invisible withdrawal is emotion, a quiet pulling away from a snare woven beneath the surface. Without even being fully aware, the soul is being lifted from an elaborate ambush, disguised in familiarity and convenience. Behind the veil of the day-to-day, there's a confrontation unfolding between light and calculated opposition. Intentional distractions have been placed with precision, masked as opportunities, companions, or open doors. Yet each one carries the weight of misdirection. but the unseen realm is already collapsing their foundation before they take root. The atmosphere has changed. There's an undercurrent of discomfort, a shift in emotional temperature that can't quite be explained. That isn't coincidence, it's signal. Patterns are being interrupted, relationships are cooling, and once promising pathways are suddenly dissolving. This is no accident. It's the unraveling of a blueprint designed to pull you out of alignment. The energy leaving your life is the same force that was meant to deter you from your deeper purpose. Let go of the urge to cling to what is slipping away. What feels like loss is actually a disguised deliverance. The distance from familiar surroundings may sting, but it's the extraction from a maze of influence that no longer holds your future. Threads of deception are being severed before they can tighten. Where once you stood in the center of manipulation, you are now being drawn to higher ground. The discomfort is only the residue of detachment. Once it clears, you'll see that this redirection was rescue in motion. Make your impact eternal. Join now and be a light in someone's darkness. The larger arc is being rewritten while you stand still. Pathways once imagined as your future are quietly being closed, not to punish, but to preserve. As you wonder why doors won't open, plans falter, or connections end abruptly, understand this. The redirection is deliberate. A higher design is crafting an outcome beyond your current understanding. The pieces falling apart are the ones that never fit. And while everything seems suspended, the unseen hand is reshaping what lies ahead. The shifts occurring now will form the foundation of what's to come. In hindsight, it will become clear that the pauses, denials, and reroutes were blueprints being rearranged for your protection. What's being rewritten in silence will one day become your greatest alignment. A sacred detachment is occurring, not abandonment, but refinement. Your name is being removed from dynamics that would have dimmed your essence. Places that once welcomed you are now fading, and people who felt familiar are stepping back. Let them. Their absence is confirmation that not every circle can carry your calling. The disconnection isn't punishment, it's purification. Even now, what you thought belonged to you is being returned to the shelf it came from. Spaces once held dear are no longer yours to occupy, not because you failed, but because they never matched the measure of who you're becoming. And when this quiet separation has run its course, a new atmosphere will emerge, clearer, cleaner, and crafted for the next version of you. What feels like subtraction now is making room for something divinely tailored to your future. There's a withdrawal taking shape that feels unfamiliar, not because you've lost your passion or your voice, but because an unseen hand is pulling your awareness inward. What once felt lively and engaging now feels heavy, distant. The reduction in your desire to interact is not emotional collapse, it is strategy. A higher intelligence is shielding you in open daylight. The pause you're experiencing is not emptiness, it is an intentional cleansing of the subtle grip that chaos once held over your focus. Noises that once fed your spirit now echo without meaning. Words that once felt warm now feel hollow. This retreat is not rejection of others. It's the unraveling of unseen influence that has wrapped itself around your clarity. As the dialogue around you fades, an invisible hold is breaking. This quiet is not weakness. It's disruption of a pattern meant to distract. You're no longer orbiting hollow discussions or engaging with voices that disguise distortion as concern. That cycle has ended. The energy you once gave away is returning to its rightful owner. The atmosphere may feel heavy with silence, but that stillness is a recalibration. You're being moved through dimensions not marked by space, but by awareness. It's not your body that's changing locations. It's your spiritual alignment that's being pulled into a safer orbit. You are stepping out of unseen contracts, out of energetic bindings you didn't know you signed. The silence isn't passive, it's transformational. It is the Great Reset. This internal rerouting comes with disorientation. Familiar routines lose their pull, relationships shift without confrontation, and you may feel untethered from the rhythm you knew. But beneath that confusion, the foundation is being fortified. What felt like your norm is being stripped away because it wasn't built for what's ahead. You're being drawn out of density into clarity. And while the surface of your life may look paused, your inner world is undergoing radical motion. Threads are being cut. Assignments are being changed. What once required your presence no longer needs your energy. The people once central to your path may quietly exit. Let them. Their season has expired. This isn't about social shifts. It's about realignment at the deepest level. While you rest, invisible structures are being rearranged. Your name is being etched into places that carry your future and erased from those that never could. There will come a moment where you'll wake with an unshakable awareness that everything around you has changed, even if the scenery looks the same. And in that realization, you'll understand the true meaning of the silence you've endured. It wasn't absence, it was refinement. What awaits is not simply better, it is designed, tailored to your essence. When the spell of distraction breaks, the purpose ahead will speak louder than anything you've left behind. Everything around you might seem muted right now, as if time itself is holding its breath. But beneath the surface of this quiet stretch, a sequence is unfolding that was set in motion long before you became aware of it. This isn't a stall, it's a sacred construction zone. The silence is not lack, the pause is not absence, and the stillness is not neglect. You are being repositioned with careful intention, pulled from interference and placed into divine alignment, even if it feels like nothing is shifting on the outside. There's an invisible map being redrawn in your favor. You are being tucked away, not because you failed or misstepped, but because something ahead requires a version of you that hasn't fully emerged yet. Every delay is saturated with design. What looks like stillness is actually strategy. Movement will return, and when it does, you'll carry an internal gravity forged in this quiet. Doors that once looked promising may close abruptly now, and your instinct may be to resist. But that resistance is unnecessary. These closures are decisions made for you by a higher force, one that sees beyond the curve. When final chapters arrive unannounced, it isn't cruelty, it's course correction. The hesitation you felt before walking through those thresholds was already the signal. The closures aren't punishment, they are safeguards wrapped in mercy. What was once familiar may now feel foreign, and as uncomfortable as that may be, it is confirmation that the story has moved forward, even if you haven't caught up yet. The loss of the old makes space for a recalibration of what belongs. Regret will try to whisper, but clarity is louder if you let it speak. While your hands remain still, a larger orchestration is arranging the unseen variables of your future. Encounters are being scheduled that you didn't request. People are being prepped for your arrival in places you've not yet imagined, and moments are being lined up that only make sense when they arrive. No striving is required, just trust. You aren't being overlooked. You are being reserved for something tailored. Paths are crossing in timelines you don't control, and you don't need to campaign or convince. The alignments you long for are on their way, without noise or force. Opportunities formed without striving will carry a peace that effort never could. This divine symmetry unfolding is far beyond your influence, and that is its greatest gift. You will not have to chase. You will not have to persuade. The right things are already finding their way to you, and when they arrive, it will feel like they were always yours. This is not waiting. This is preparation for recognition, for revelation, for a reality your spirit has been quietly preparing for all along. The unseen hours, the unnoticed sacrifices, the steady presence you've carried without applause. None of it has gone unnoticed in the places that truly matter. A quiet unveiling is approaching. Someone whose reach holds real weight is being stirred to remember what you offered without expectation, not out of coincidence, but through a deliberate orchestration that's been unfolding in silence. Their remembrance of you isn't random. It's rooted in timing that was never yours to control. There is someone already positioned, with access to the very space you've been praying to enter. Their awareness of you is not born of chance. It is being ignited by a greater hand. You weren't striving to be seen. You were simply consistent. And now, what's been brewing in obscurity is about to surface. What may seem like a sudden shift will in fact be the result of layers of unnoticed faithfulness, converging into undeniable momentum. What's coming will feel precise, like it was tailored to your very structure. This is not the result of forcing, not the byproduct of networking or chasing visibility. It is the fruit of alignment. You are being remembered by someone with the ability to accelerate what once felt delayed. And it won't be a fragile connection. It will be pivotal. Long-anticipated doors will open, not because of effort, but because favor has caught up with you. What looked like silence was actually setup. And now, the moment has arrived. Beneath the surface, a deeper transformation is taking hold, one that has nothing to do with performance and everything to do with positioning. Without ceremony or announcement, a spiritual shift is being sealed. You are being clothed with a level of authority that cannot be faked and will not be revoked. It won't require a platform or explanation. It will be sensed, recognized, revered by those who witness it, whether they understand it or not. This isn't something you earn through effort. It is bestowed, a mantle placed with precision, not for image, but for impact. Your words will begin to resonate with weight. Your steps will carry certainty, and your presence will communicate leadership before you ever speak. Not because you tried to command it, but because it now rests on you. With that weight comes responsibility. This is more than favor, it is trust. You're not being lifted up for your own elevation, but to steward something sacred. Insight will increase. Influence will expand. But so will the call to discern, protect, and guide. This is permanent, not conditional. The seal placed on you cannot be removed by criticism, jealousy, or opposition. What's been planted in your spirit will not be uprooted. The shift also demands sharper discernment. In the days ahead, not everything will wear its true label. You'll encounter choices wrapped in complexity. What seems genuine may hide misdirection, but you are being equipped to see what others overlook. The calibration of your senses is divine, not simply gut instinct, but supernatural filtration, a deeper ability to separate what aligns from what distracts. This new clarity will keep you out of traps disguised as blessings. You'll begin to perceive shifts before they happen. You'll know when to speak and when to remain silent, when to engage and when to step back. This spiritual refinement will move you through spaces with precision and grace. You won't need to overanalyze. You'll simply know. Every filter of the past is being upgraded. You will no longer waste time second-guessing or explaining your direction. What once tangled your thoughts will now feel obvious. Peace will walk ahead of your choices. And in this refinement, doors will not just open. They'll recognize your presence and unlock at your arrival. There comes a point when certain efforts begin to feel hollow, not because they aren't valuable, but because they no longer fit the weight of who you've become. That quiet unrest you felt while engaging in things that once made sense is not laziness or disinterest. It's a spiritual separation in motion. Assignments that once felt purposeful are now being peeled away, not as punishment, but as preparation. You're being shifted from obligations that drain your essence into roles that activate your purpose. Even if the spaces you're leaving behind appear valuable from the outside, something within you knows they are no longer yours to carry. The exits may come without warning, detours, delays, unexpected endings, but they are deliberate. These aren't disruptions. They are realignments. You are being pulled from what was convenient into what is essential. These removals may look like subtraction, but they are precise edits for a greater story. Do not grieve the release. That departure is divine. What seems like reduction is the beginning of refinement. The loss of lesser callings is clearing space for weightier assignments, ones that stretch your capacity, honor your growth, and pull your soul into deeper resonance with its original blueprint. This isn't rejection. This is elevation in disguise. You are not being set aside. You're being readied. And when this transitional dust finally settles, it will be obvious why those previous roles had to fall away. They were never meant to hold the magnitude of what's coming next. There is a quiet authority rising inside you, one that doesn't need validation to exist. This grounding isn't a mood or a moment. It's a new state of being. It's the kind of peace that doesn't ask for permission to remain, even when everything around it shifts. What you're walking in now is not escape from stress. It's an awakening to stillness that can't be shaken. This inner calm has matured beyond surface calmness. It stands unwavering in the presence of uncertainty. It speaks louder than panic. It knows what belongs and what doesn't, and it protects your focus from being fractured. That stillness is not a retreat. It is a bold stance in a world that thrives on noise. Others will sense it too. They'll feel the difference before they can name it. The steadiness you carry will speak for itself. This peace is not decoration, it is a compass. And as long as you keep moving from this space of inner clarity, no storm will move you. You will walk with resolve, respond with wisdom, lead with grace. And when doubt tries to creep back in, this peace will remind you that you are anchored too deeply to be thrown off course. A new layer of clarity is being unlocked, not through effort or intellect, but through divine unveiling. Realms of wisdom that once felt distant are suddenly drawing closer, not because you asked for them, but because your posture has made space for them. There's a knowing rising in you that's not been taught, it's been entrusted.